Good morning, everybody. Before we do our part 2 read aloud for Jack and the Beanstalk, I wanted to do a quick review of our activity that we completed yesterday. So you were doing your character actions and feelings chart. And on this chart, it included the feelings of the characters and the senses that different words and stories elicit from us. Now, we talked about this a little bit last week, but I wanted to go ahead and review it. A lot of you did a really great job. There were just a few friends that had a little bit of trouble maybe coming up with the right feeling that the words were showing us or the right senses that words were eliciting in us or making us feel like we were there, the different senses that we could sense from the story. So let's start with the first one. "Oh, Jack," said the poor widow, wringing her hands. "We have nothing to eat and no money." So wringing her hands is in bold print, meaning it's darker. I wanted you to focus on those words, those actions from the character, that thing that she is doing. So she's wringing her hands, which means she's kind of moving them around a lot. And when someone does that, it shows that they're worried about something. And we definitely know she's worried because they have no money, they have nothing to eat, and now Milky White won't make any milk. So she's really worried about their situation. I even had a friend use a really good word, desperate. Desperate means you almost feel like you don't know what to do about something because the situation is so bad. And she is desperate. She really needs to get money and food for her and her son, but they don't have any. So those are two really good feeling words for that part of the story. The second one is also the widow. "What?" cried his mother. "Beans? You gave away my precious cow for beans? How could you be such a fool?" Now, this one I think everybody pretty much got. This one was a little bit easier. Now, it did try to trick you a little bit, but I don't think anybody let it trick them. It said, "cried his mother." But that doesn't mean a sad cry. It means she's doing what? Right, she's saying it, almost yelling it at him. And we know that when she's saying these things in the way that she is saying it, she is angry with Jack. And I had a friend on their paper put the word disappointed, which I thought was a really good feeling word, so I added it to mine. So angry or disappointed, both of those are feelings that we know that she is feeling based on what she is saying. So the next two were senses, and I wrote it in the boxes here. But I wanted to make sure everyone was focusing on those things. Some of you were focusing on feelings, and that's okay. Some of you said, like, for example, in this part of the story, Jack was scared or frightened, and that's very true, he was. But it wanted you to focus on the senses that these different words make you think about. So the first one says, "But Jack hadn't half finished these when thump, 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 the whole house began to tremble with the noise of someone coming. Someone big." So the first one bolds thump, thump, thump. Thump, thump, thump. Those are sound words. So we know that the senses that it's trying to appeal to in us or make us feel like we're there is our sense of sound or hearing. That is a sound word. So it's almost like you can hear that sound in the story. Now I put two characters on this part. Can you figure out why? That's right, because you could put either one of those characters and be correct. Now, Jack is the character that is experiencing these senses, meaning he is the one that is hearing this thing. So he is the one that is hearing the thump, thump, thump. He's the one that has the sound and hearing sense for this part. But it's the giant that's making the sound. So if you put either one of those two characters, it would be correct. Now, some of you put narrator because we know the narrator is saying this part of the story. So you are correct. It is the narrator speaking, but I want you to focus on who is hearing or making this sound in that part of the story. Now, the last one is the same text as right here, but a different part is bolded. It says began to tremble, because this part here, the same part that's written twice, can appeal to another one of our senses. It can also appeal to our sense of feeling. So when it says the whole house began to tremble, tremble is a shaking. It's something you can feel. So I put feeling for the senses. I had one friend put vibrations, which is an awesome sensory word. So I put that one there as well. Awesome thinking. And again, I put the two characters for the same reason I did here. Jack is the one that is feeling the tremble. He's the one whose senses are working right here. But it's the giant who made the house tremble. So either one of those characters would be correct. If you want to add any of this to your chart, you absolutely can, as long as you understand character feelings and different words in the story that can tell us about character feelings, as well as different words in the story that can make us feel like we're there and appeal to our senses.